Welcome back to Straight Facts on Wednesday. I'm joined as ever by Judge Mo and the original Don of YouTube, Don Husam. Get like buttons hit, get subscribing. Loads to go through today. Big breaking news from Sam reports that Arsenal could be making a £50 million move along with Manchester United for Semenyo. Liverpool fee agreed with Wirtz. The announcement is expected imminently. We're going to be talking about the Mbeumo wages lies that have been pushed by the media. The hell is that noise from my phone? It's a song. It was a song I was listening to earlier. It just randomly came on out of nowhere. I was listening to...
Is that the English national anthem?
No, that song is from the film Creed 2. I was working out a bit and I had songs from Creed 2. It's the end theme to Creed. We're talking about that. And we're also going to be looking at Inter Milan. The manager's gone. Rasmus might be coming. Massive claims of fraud against them as a club as well. So lots to speak about when it comes to that little Italian club over there. Especially, again, bottling a treble, winning no trophies. Loads to talk about when it comes to Inter Milan later in the show. But gentlemen, how are you both?
It was such a fraud. How could you give this intro and then say, how are you both? Like, you just... Guys, I'm a big up to the chat. Guys, like the video, subscribe, you get me. I'm a Premier League champion with a fan of a club that finished 15th and another club that is committed corruption, allegedly. So this should be one hell of a stream. I'm the only one here with no turmoil, alhamdulillah, you get me. I'm looking at Mo's club. Mo has had a horrendous 72 hours. He's had a horrendous time. For the last 72 hours, his club wants Rasmus Højlund. They sacked Inazghi, hired Fabregas. His biggest rival got Allegri as their manager. They lost the Coppa Italia, they lost the league title, and they lost the Champions League final by the biggest margin ever. And after that, they get linked to Rasmus Højlund. So, listen, I love you, Mo. I'm sending you so much love right now because you need it. You get me? Eid is coming. You get me? Make sure you eat well.
The accusation against you is that between 2016 and 2019, about 300 million euros worth of revenue. It's essentially the same accusation as Man City.
PSG,
fake
Man
sponsors.
City, same exact thing.
Fake
same
sponsors.
City, yeah. Inflated sponsors, fake sponsors, the same thing as Man City and PSG. Same ones exactly as Newcastle. Like they inflated the sponsorship deals, they injected money at the club that are not true and are not real. Yeah. To be honest with you, if that gets proven, like the club needs to get like sanctioned. The problem is the fans. I'm not going to defend it, to be honest with you. Like as a fan, the club needs to be like has point deductions or stuff like this because that is corruption. And us as fans, I have no say in how the ownership do this, right? I have no say. I'm always going to support the club, but at the same time, I'm just going to say that you ran the club wrong. The problem is the Chinese people just left the club. So you can't prosecute them. They are in China. They left. They don't have business in Europe. So basically, they did this fraud and left to China. And that's what about it. But the club is going to be... if the club gets point deducted...
The funny thing about you putting Sophia's comment up is she supports United and Inter.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I mean, the thing with it is, I understand where you're coming from, but what did you achieve as a football club between 2016 and 2019? What did you win?
Nothing.
What players were built?
Why did they do this? They were trying, so they took over the club from a guy called Eric Tuhir, and they were trying to keep the club afloat. So if they did this, that means they inflated the because they wanted to keep the club afloat. That's what they did. But I'm not going to be behind them. You can't do this in that day and age.
I will say this about you as well, right? Fair play for your comment there. I'm not going to name any clubs, but when other clubs have faced similar allegations, I remember saying on a stream, I feel for the fans. Why? Because they didn't allegedly cheat. They didn't potentially cheat. They achieved greatness. And if it turns out it was all built upon fraud, they're going to, it's sort of like their club's legacy is going to be damaged. And I was met with like, none of us would feel like that. We back our club all the way. And I always felt it was a weird reaction. let's go and check who you signed in that time period, right? So between 2016, I don't know. Oh, wow. Yeah. Looking at the names of players you signed in 2016-17, João Mario, Gabriel Barbosa, Miranda, Egdar. Who else you signed? The year after that, you signed Milan Skriniar. You signed in that period. He was good for you. Oh, this is a problem. Now, this is where it becomes a problem. You guys signed Bastoni in that period. So that's
from Atalanta, yeah.
He's been very integral for you. You also signed in that period Lautaro Martinez, one of your greatest ever strikers of the modern day era. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Outside of that, I don't know how successful the other people were. I'm just looking at their names. And then before they left, they signed. Oh, were they still there the summer when you signed Lukaku and you got those guys? And
Lukaku was signed in. Yeah.
Where are you looking at this? Is this transfer market?
Yeah, I went on transfer market.
We
won
the title in. Yeah, we won the title in 2021.
This is the thing. So you won the title 19-20, didn't you?
Yeah.
Were they still the owners at that point?
Yes.
So
no. They were the owners until last season.
Okay, but the cheating happened in that period. The point I'm making, this is where you might still be in trouble with your leagues, is if it's deemed that you obviously pump money in to save yourselves, and then that's saving yourself illegally against the rules of the game, so against the rules, then enabled you to buy Bastonis and Barellas and Lukaku's and win a league. The question would be the same as other clubs accused of this. Should you not have those titles stripped?
100%.
If the club was kept afloat by fraud.
100%. But one of the things that, because we speak English and we follow English Twitter, in Italy, I try to find articles about this and no one is talking about it. Nobody. No rivals are talking about it. No one is talking about it. There are no articles about it. It's a French journalist. There is a French journalist that did this. And no one in Italy is talking about it, which tells me that it might be just a shot in the dark. And anyway, it is.
Do you know what it tells me? I think it tells me that there might be more than one club in Italy that's doing this. So the reason why in England we've seen a lot in the newspapers, that's true. I think why we've seen a lot in England about what's happened with other clubs is because the other teams in the league that feel frustrated that they didn't cheat, they go to the media. Because when people go to the Premier League reporting on something, the Premier League is just 20 clubs with a few hierarchy above them that kind of run it day to day. Of course, they've got lots of staff, but it's the clubs. The Premier League is essentially the 20 members each season. But again, if every single Premier League club was doing what City did, they wouldn't be running to the media about fucking any of this, would they? Because why would you invite that kind of investigation? But it's horrible to see these things. And we've also seen today Barcelona charged and somebody else in charge for breaking FFP rules. Chelsea have been charged and Aston Villa have been charged as well. Have been charged.
But there's a difference. At the current moment, Barcelona, Chelsea are being charged for overspending. The Inter charges are criminal charges, fraud.
I get that.
It's just like City, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh, you spent so much, we're going to ban you from Europe. No. If this gets proven, the club will be in turmoil. It might get relegated or might start every season with point deduction for the next 3-4 years. Like what they said with City. Like you start every season on -10 or something like this.
What will be interesting to see is whether or not, again, City fans will dispute this. A lot of other people don't. But I wonder if this stuff's time barred.
This is 2016. It's definitely not time barred.
It shouldn't be time barred. It shouldn't be at this point, but we will see. Viewers, give us your thoughts and opinions on what you think is going to happen here. Mafia Milan. That's the only thing I would say. Be careful, people. Be careful what you start doing.
The only funny part about this whole thing is how do you cheat and win nothing in the time?
They were trying to keep the club afloat, like what other people did. Like Southampton got caught with fake sponsors from Southeast Asia because they were trying to keep the club afloat. They didn't win anything. They just were trying to keep the club afloat.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to do this. Anyway, it is what it is. I'm not. To be honest with you, I'm not justifying it. If you do that, you're basically cheating the other clubs in Europe and in your
But
league.
you justified it for Man City. That's the funny part. But you're not justifying it for your
No,
own
but
club.
let me tell you the difference. Man City were trying to build the club from the ground, and I think that Man City didn't inflate, Man City didn't do fraud at the current moment. Man City said, "Oh, we think that this is allegedly."
Allegedly.
Should my cousin be allowed to sponsor MHF, Mo?
If your cousin has money, let's let him sponsor MHF.
But there's no competition laws within YouTube in that regard at that point. So there's no issue with that. Again, if YouTube,
my cousin sponsors MHF and he pumps in the money, and I start bringing in the biggest talent to MHF, and within a year I overtake the Football Terrace because I've got all the biggest names. What would you guys say?
well,
Then?
what I would say about that is that you that's more of a conversation about.
And Terry was talking about this yesterday.
No, I was talking about this on the show the other day, saying that essentially, and I was talking about this with Jamie on Monday actually, and with Alice, that I'm not someone that begrudges clubs spending money. We're talking about PSG and the fact that from a footballing perspective, that I loved how they play football. But when people say football won here, and this is a beautiful like romantic story, I'm like, you're making it. My example was this. If I have no money and I start a business in my garage and within 10 years I'm a billionaire, that is a success story that I think the world should hear about if you want to educate people on it. If I've got no money, I buy a lottery ticket and win 150 million pounds. There's no TED talk. There's no way I can't turn that into a book and go, wow, look at this journey I went on to make money. I got very, very lucky. And I just think that there's I feel that way a little bit in football sometimes where you're like, people do it with Wrexham, the journey they've been on. I get their fans see the journey and their fans love it. But from the outside in, it's not a fairy tale. It's a lottery win. They've not been born with the silver spoon, but they've inherited one. It's
so
very
City
different.
on the jackpot. That's what I always say.
City did, and I've got no issue.
No,
with that,
no City fan has ever denied that they won.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
There are no City fans that said, "Oh, we've risen from the ruins. We came from deep, and then we kind of built our club from." No one said that. Their first signing was Rubinho. Who does this? You know what I mean?
Yeah. On the sponsorship thing, though, I would say this. I gave the exact same example that you did to a degree. I said if I won the Euro Millions, which is huge money over here, and it was like 200 million that I won, and I pumped it all into the terrace, and I literally, my match reactions, no more Mo, no more Husam, my match reactions were Jose, Wenger, and Fergie. I paid them enough money to come into it. Like, again, there is, with that amount of money, you could make them your panel.
Yeah, you could.
That was my panel for match reactions. My panel for the top 6 show was going to be Roy Keane, Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, and Zinedine Zidane. And straight facts, it was going to be a combination of similar players at level. My channel suddenly getting the most views in the world, it'd be great, it'd be real, but it wouldn't be organic. It wouldn't be a story of organically growing a business to be able to do that. It would be massive amount of money pumped into it to inflate its growth quicker. Now, it's different doing a business deal with a brand who pays you a few £1,000 a month and you start to hire some people and slowly grow. That's very different from suddenly getting an obscene amount of money and being able to pump it in day one with no checks and balances, essentially. So there is a difference. But your point around the sponsorship, your cousin could sponsor you and pump that money in if he wanted. There's no rules. But if YouTube created a rule, say they wanted a competition law, because they said it's not fair that rich people get to grow their channels faster than poor people. Say that YouTube brings in a policy that says no family members connected to you is allowed to pump more than X amount in, and you yourself can't pump more than X amount of your own money in per year. If then Husam and your cousin went and created a fake company and you started pumping in 50%, 100%, 200% more than the limit of your investment is per year as a fake sponsor, then you should have your channel taken away because you've gone against the terms and conditions of YouTube. So that's the only example that would make sense. But as we say, look, from an Inter point of view, let's see what happens with this. It doesn't read good. But on the backdrop of losing the treble, losing your manager, what do you make of your manager pissing off to Al-Hilal?
It's good for us, to be honest. There is no comeback from this. And as I stated before, I think there's something that happened, and all the people that support Inter, all the journalists said that something wrong happened in that day. This is not the same Inter that played against Barcelona or Bayern Munich. Yes, the PSG were superior, but something has happened. This manager, to be honest, he erased all the good memories that happened at Inter. He won a league title, yes, fine, but he erased all the good memories. He apparently was talking to the Saudis 2 months before, and apparently he knew that he was leaving even before, and the players knew that he's not going to be there. So for me, I'm like, just listen, F off, go earn your money. I don't want to see you ever coaching Inter again. I don't care if we're not competitive next season. You made the club like Inter look like the clowns of the Europe at the current moment after having a great, like maybe like a great campaign. Oh, he's a manager that makes wine out of water and everything. He's absolutely destroyed the image. I don't think he can coach in Europe again until there's a buffer between him and...
Is it wine out of water or water out of wine?
Wine out of water.
It's turning wine into water. That's what Jesus did. Jesus turned wine to water.
The other way around.
He turned water
to wine. Sorry, I got it wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, but
I haven't read the Bible in a while. Sorry.
So yeah, for me, like he destroyed. Like for all the people that, and by the way, that doesn't remove the fact that he's a good manager. He's a good coach. Inter are good coached.
Nope. Yes. Now don't say good manager. Say good coach.
Good coach. He's a good coach.
You
As
know
a
who has
manager,
this as well? Mikel Arteta. Good coach, bad manager.
the difference is when Inazghi, good coach, you watch Inter, oh yeah, they play good, they defend well, they play between the lines, they build well, he makes these players look good. Okay, but preparation, 50% of your job as a coach or as a manager is to prepare players for big games. And I mentioned this about Man United. A lot of people say Amorim is not good, he can't prepare the players and all of this. You can look at Amorim preparing Man United for big games, and he does this well. Even against Spurs, by the way, both teams were horrific. But in the same time, Man United were not humiliated.
About big games. It's actually about big moments as well.
Big, yeah.
Because you playing Lazio at home, sorry to bring back bad memories, but you playing Lazio at home is not a big game, but it's a big moment. There's a difference.
Pressure,
you know?
pressure.
Yeah, the pressure. When the pressure
Especially
is
at
high.
half time, knowing that Napoli are drawing, they are about to gift you the league. What is your speech at halftime? How do you prepare players at halftime?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
That's why I think there is a separation between good coaches and, like, I think Ferguson is a better manager than Pep, but I think if there is a fair, objective way to look at it and say Guardiola is probably a better coach, like just tactics and stuff like that.
Well,
like, I think
Fergie was a better manager in the sense that there aren't even really managers around them. But again, managing in terms of the squad and team, I think that Fergie.
Not only that, Terry. Not only managing the team and the squad and dealing with transfers, also preparing players for Champions League finals, for last day of the season, for pressure moments, for big games. Yeah. Him making a player that might be like a 6 out of 10 player to perform like an 8 out of 10 player because they play for Man United.
No, I agree. What Fergie had a history of is, I mean, Aberdeen was probably an even bigger example than Man United, but people forget about it. This is what the greatest managers do. And again, fairness, Pep's not been in this situation. Maybe this season it didn't work, but how often has he gone into big games where he's like genuinely been the underdog? How many times has he genuinely been the underdog in his career as Barca,
Pep,
and manager Pep? Oh, rarely ever. And it's when has he ever gone into a league campaign where it's been universally agreed upon by the pundits, at least, that this team or that team have a better squad, and yet he's gone on to win the league? It's a hard thing to do. But yes, and by the way, he's still a great manager, Pep. I just do think Fergie's slightly better in that regard. Viewers, but give us your views, give us your opinions here. Patrick says, big up Tel, Mo, and Husam. Hope you are all having a good week. Favorite show as always.
Appreciate you, Patrick Lynch.
I am having a great week, right? Cunha done. Mbeumo over. And by the way, I'm going to say Mbeumo. I keep saying, I start saying Mbeumo because people tell me that's what it is. Then I get, no, it's Mbeumo. Then I go back to Mbeumo and I go, no, it's Mbeumo. And I'm like, hang on a minute. Every day I get told to say it a different way. So moving forward, I think I'm just going to say man like Brian, right? So nobody gets offended. But
no, don't do the Chelsea thing and call people with their first name.
No,
don't do the Chelsea thing.
I hear you. But it looks like we're getting Mbeumo as well. So I'm very, very happy. Thoughts on those deals by United? The reason I'm asking is you boys are in some of the group chats like yesterday. A lot of people in the Football Terrace group chats yesterday saying too much money, not good value, no sell-on value, too high risk. What do you two, as an Inter and Liverpool fan, make of Man United's business thus far?
Great business. Fantastic.
Yeah,
business.
great business. Great
I'm
business
just telling
for
you.
Man United perspective. But rest in peace to the players' careers. But from from Man United's perspectives, they've of course done a good job. You're obviously you finished 16th. You have to upgrade on that. You have to improve. And to be honest with you, it is 2 direct improvements immediately, because you need the Premier League experienced players. You need Premier League proven players. At this point in time, you have no time for bedding in. You have no time for players who need time. You have no time for any of that. You have to get out of this hole and get out of this hole quick. And, signing 2 players like Mbeumo and Cunha will help you, go from like 15th, 16th to 8th, 7th. You just have to upgrade directly and get back into those positions where it's at least acceptable. At least acceptable to finish in. Obviously, Mbeumo, fantastic goal scorer, very versatile, can play on the wings, can play up top, can play in one of the 10 positions. So that's something that's really good. You could say the same exact thing about Cunha, also versatile, also can play in the wings in the forward line, like positions everywhere. So I think it's a fantastic signing. I mean, all the chances that Man United have created this season, had they fallen to Mbeumo instead of falling to Højlund, or fallen to Cunha instead of falling for Garnacho or whatever it is, obviously this season might be a completely different story. So I think this guy's a fantastic signing. To be honest with you, if we put all jokes aside and all banter aside, Mbeumo probably starts for every club in the league. Like, he would start for literally every club in the league, whether it be on the wings or whether it be up top. Like, he would start for Liverpool and Arsenal in the striker position. He would start for Man City right wing. He would start for Chelsea on the wings or up top. So like, I think he's a very good player. I think he's a major upgrade on what you have, because at the end of the day, if we're being objective here, your benchmark cannot just be, oh, he's better than Xerxes, oh, he's better than Højlund, because if you go using that logic, then you should sign 900 footballers. So obviously you need a certain level basis there of a player who's actually good, and I think Mbeumo fits that. I think Cunha fits that. I think both players are very good, and I think they will help take you to the next level. And you need players like this. I think Man United should actually continue this transfer strategy. I think Man United should go to the Brentfords and the Brightons and the Fulhams of the world and get players who are Premier League proven. Like, let's say you want a left wing back. If you go sign, as an example, Anthony Robertson from Fulham, it's better than signing the best left wing back in another league, because you just don't have time for it. You just don't have time for someone who needs 3 months to be better and blah, blah, blah. Like Mbeumo and Cunha, they've already played at Anfield. They've already played at the Etihad. They've already played at the Emirates. Like, they know what it's like playing, in those big stadiums. They're used to it. They're used to the culture. They're used to the food. Just don't eat the chicken at Old Trafford. But they're used to the food, and they're used to the people and everything. So, yeah, I think those are 2 fantastic starts. But Man United must carry on. And I think if this is their transfer strategy, then it is a smart way to go about things. And as I said, and this is the argument that me and Mo had, and Terry will even back me on this, from a month ago, where I said, even if Newcastle get top 4, Man United are still more attractive than Newcastle, because attraction does not just shift in one transfer window. Like, I could easily sit up here and do the whole shameless thing and say Mbeumo rejected Arsenal. Personally, I don't think Arsenal were seriously in for him. It's just my honest opinion. I could be wrong, I could be right, fairs. But I do think Newcastle were the club that seriously wanted him. And as I said from a month ago, Man United, even without Champions League football, are more attractive than Newcastle, because attraction doesn't just go away like this.
Can I tell you something about
You go,
this?
mate.
So Man United are going to get Mbeumo, and they're going to get... People listen, Man United fans in the chat. This is going to be a little bit hard for you to hear. If you get Mbeumo and you get Matías Cunha, you keep Bruno Fernandes, you sign a striker like Mateta, expectations should not be top half of the table as people want to talk about. Ruben Amorim...
Should not be.
Yeah, should not be. Should be higher, way higher. Way higher.
I thought you were going to say
way,
something shameless, like finish 11th.
Should be way higher. Should be top 5. Should be carrying Europa League or Champions League football. Not Conference League, not top 8. Not top 8. Listen, everyone wanted Mbeumo. A lot of people say that Cunha is a Champions League elk player. Husam wanted fucking Cunha at Liverpool, right? That's a Premier League champion team there, right? And he would say Cunha would start for us. Mbeumo might even start behind the striker on the left side. And if you go and get Mateta, that is the front 3, along with Amad Diallo, Xerxes, right? That is there. You might ship Højlund somewhere else, right? You signed Ugarte. You have Bruno staying there. You have Ruben Amorim, which is, yes, Ruben Amorim has not been great. Ruben Amorim has not been great. Remember, Ruben Amorim is the league champion in Portugal, right? I believe if you invest that much money, the target should not be winning the league, but also should not be fucking 8th. Have a high. Now, if you go and sign players that are lower than this, yeah, maybe. But Man United, and in my opinion, pressure should be on. First half of the season, he should perform right away. Now you're getting them early. You have a preseason. You have 1 game a week. You don't have European football, so don't give me the complaints about, we play Wednesday and Thursday and in the weekend. You have 1 game a week.
Can you make your take again now in front of Terry? Because I actually want to see his
Man
face.
United next season. Man United next season. You get Mbeumo over the line. Here is the clip. Man United next season, they get Mbeumo over the line. They got Cunha over the line. They sign Mateta. They're keeping Bruno. They sign a left wing back with Ruben Amorim, who's a league champion from Portugal, should target European football right away next season. And I don't mean Conference League. It has to be Europa League or Champions League. At least content for top 5. It's 15th. Let's finish 9th and 10th. Clubs don't do this. You don't do this. You sign players that are Champions League quality. You target Champions League football. Because Man United, Ruben Amorim is not a freaking 9th or 10th place manager. Man United signed Ruben Amorim to build a team that will compete for the league. Now, your owners have got the money or have got the structure or have got the way of getting players like Mbeumo that Liverpool need, Cunha that Liverpool and Arsenal wanted and Newcastle wanted. Now, you should absolutely target top 5. Are you going to be better than Aston Villa? I don't know. But you're definitely going to fucking be better than fucking Nottingham Forest and Fulham and Brentford.
So look, I agree with almost everything you say.
Is there an echo coming from me?
No. I agree with almost everything you say, apart from we need more than just these two. So where I agree with you is this summer, I mean. So if we sign another 4 of this level in different positions, so we go and get
striker and a left wing back. You definitely need that because Shosley.
He said Mateta earlier on.
I said Mateta. You're linked to Mateta.
Okay. So if we get a Mateta, if we were to get even better than that, a Yulkarez, if we go and get a good new goalkeeper, an energetic, powerful, very technical central midfield player, and a new fullback of sorts. Let's just say those positions. I agree with you. We should be. For me, I didn't say top 5. I'm saying we should be. We're a team that I think will finish in the European position under this manager if we improve. And when I say players like Cunha, players like Mbeumo, I'm talking very technically gifted, quick, strong, powerful. We lack physicality. A lot of them being relatively Premier League proven. Another player we're linked to today, alongside Arsenal, is Semenyo. And again, I don't quite know where he would fit into this system if we bought him as well. I mean, who else does that mean? KJ says, get me Semenyo at striker.
I mean, how is that? How does he want Semenyo at a striker? And the striker.
KJ, put the Football Manager in the bag and stick
Habibi, what is this, bro?
Stick to making intros, buddy.
Yeah, stick to making clips, KJ, please.
Yeah, Semenyo at striker. What the hell? Please don't say that on any other show. Please, I'm telling you as a brother.
You might burst onto the show now and give his opinion. He might turn up.
No, please don't turn up.
You see my point. So I agree with you. There's got to be pressure, and the manager himself has put that pressure on it. Pressure out. He said at the end of the season, we've suffered. It's been a horrible 6 months. The good times are going to come. Now we need to be backed. We need to buy quality. But if we get to the end of this window and it's the salt that I saw yesterday towards Mbeumo, the lies about his transfer fee, his salary, and I love what Fabrizio said today. Fabrizio didn't come out and slag off any other journalists. He just said Mbeumo isn't making crazy demands. He's going to be on similar wages to the majority of the squad. So he'll come in on a probably between 120 and 160 base with some incentives, which, by the way, to Husam's point, if he does get into any team in the Premier League and Man United want him to be one of the faces of the rebuild of the second wealthiest, the second most valuable football club in the world, you can't be paying him a pittance. You can't do that. We're not a tiny club. We're a crap team right now. We're not a tiny club. I saw the lies yesterday. It went from 1:20 in the morning and the press from a certain part of the country, it went from 120 to 250. That's why I don't know if you guys see the video that I released yesterday. I think
I did see your fraud tweet while I was
I saw
live.
your fraudulent tweet.
It wasn't fraudulent.
Tweet, I was live.
Yeah,
Look
but
at
listen,
He was
everyone
dropping.
was
I
looking at their
literally
phones and
I
stuff.
literally was waiting for action.
Anyway,
news.
we're contractually
You took the
obligated to
piss.
say we laughed, so I laughed reading that, Terry.
Listen, as much as rivals won't like it, like it's mad the amount of. It's funny, right? Because about 20 people have DM'd me again. We've reported you for like clickbait on Twitter, and the person I deal with at Twitter comes to me again. We've had a lot of reports about your account. So I showed him the tweet, and he went, "I can't believe people are this vindictive." He goes, "Nothing's going to happen to your account. We can clearly see it's satire and it's a joke." I went, "Anyone who can't see that it's a joke is a moron."
I didn't think it was a joke. I thought you were actually dropping massive news.
No, I got that bit. That was to create the interest around the tweet. But the tweet I put out and the video I put out was needed because what I saw yesterday, not just the salary being accelerated, but also in our own group chats here on the terrace, it went from Brian Mbeumo as an individual has been universally praised by every motherfucker and his dog for 2 or 3 seasons. He suddenly joined United and, will this work? No sell on value. Why, how much you paying him really? Oh, I don't know if he's worth that much. When people have been saying what Husam has been just said for months, which is walks into most Premier League teams, suddenly Man United get him, and it's a major problem. So that's why I did that video yesterday. But I'm glad that Fabrizio has come out and shut down those lies. Just now need to see more of it. KJ's back with us. He says here, Semenyo's positions by games, 73 as striker, 62 as a right winger, 56 as a left winger. Don't chat to me about my ball knowledge when you never knew this.
It's not ball knowledge. It's just like maybe transfer. Anybody can find that.
Yeah,
KG
when
and
Salah
transfer
was
that.
at Basel, he played more games at left wing back than right wing.
KG, that's not ball knowledge. That's literally just it's
making
literally,
intros.
it's Google
Make a
knowledge.
new one as well.
It's a Google knowledge.
Terry, you're so lucky you're in for Jackson. Well, this is also the other side of this, right? If Man United
It's
end
in
up
for
signing,
Jackson.
there's rumors Man United are looking at him. But again, I take these rumors in the same way as I take the ones about like links to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I just don't ever believe them. I just part of me just goes no. But equally, if we sign these two and then we end up signing 4 more players of Jackson's level, then I won't be putting that pressure on Ruben.
100%.
Just to put that out there. Marcy here says, Mogenda, please don't set standards for other teams.
No, I'm getting paid, Marcy, to sit on the football terrace and say my opinion. I don't set standards for the club. I don't run Man United. I don't support Man United. I'm just stating my opinion.
He's allowed to do that. He's allowed to do that. Best day to watch the terrace. Big up Terry and my Habibis, Mo and Husam. But Mo, you can hold that L after talking about Barca.
Big up,
I would have rather lost to Barcelona. Anyway.
Yeah, we don't do the Inter thing either. High five, Mo, is what Papa Beard says here.
Where have you been? Oh, you disappeared when Chelsea were doing bad. But yeah, Chelsea now are doing bits, and Papa Beard is everywhere.
Marcy here says KJ is right. Semenyo started as a 9 for Ghana.
It does not work the way that Man United want to play, because if you've got Cunha and Mbeumo on the 2-10 positions, Semenyo ahead of them does not work. You need a player that's more of a target man player. You know, KJ is trying to replicate PSG with fucking Ugarte in midfield. Just stick to making intros once again.
Who's Marcy?
I'm tired of you. You are absolute fraud.
Here he is.
I apologize to the audience for not putting the quality of the show down. I apologize.
You're the one that said Mo was a left wing back, but yet Semenyo can't play.
Left wing back would be great for Semenyo in that system.
Yeah. Listen, that too. But you're telling me that Mo Salah can go from left wing back to right wing and bang, but Semenyo from left wing, right wing to striker.
The system
doesn't work. Played for most of his career. Can't work.
Okay, KJ. First of all, when you hop on straight facts, don't ever hop off without camera, because there is a quality control we're doing here.
Camera here, bro.
Exactly. Number two. Wait. So you're gonna say, okay, who's a better goal scorer, Mbeumo?
I just want to say very quickly, KJ, you're not getting a fee like the boys for the show today. Just because
don't worry about that, man. I'm already getting paid.
Okay. Who's a better goal scorer, Mbeumo or Semenyo? Just one word answer.
Mbeumo is a better.
Okay, who's the better goal scorer, Cunha or Semenyo?
Right. Yes, it would be Cunha.
Okay, I agree with you. You're gonna put the two better goal scorers behind Semenyo, who's now playing up top. The reason why that does not work is Semenyo is not nowhere near clinical enough, and Semenyo's best attributes and his best skill set is running in behind, getting past players, and then cutting in and shooting, or then cutting in and crossing. You would be taking that away if you put him up against Premier League centre.
So okay, cool. That's fair enough. That's a fair point. But if you looked at Amorim's team, if you looked at Gyökeres does the same thing. He runs in behind, minus the crossing part. He runs in behind. He likes the ball in behind. He likes to cut in onto his feet and shoot. Semenyo is both footed. He can shoot from any position, any place.
How are you comparing Semenyo and Gyökeres' playing style?
Yeah,
And then you wonder why I cook you when you're in the chat.
This is what you guys
wonder
do,
why I
man.
cook
This is
you.
what you guys do. You guys,
If you sign Gyökeres, he is capable of being the target man. Semenyo is not.
I'm not saying Semenyo and Gyökeres are the same thing. I'm saying they both got attributes that in Amorim's system can work. Doesn't have to be the same.
Okay, KJ, who do you think is a better striker for you? Do you think Delap or Semenyo?
He would be a better striker. Delap
He's thinking. By the way, he's thinking about it.
Delap is naturally, yes, a better.
What about Chris Wood? What about Chris Wood?
Who?
Chris Wood or Semenyo as a striker? Just answer. Yes. It's your opinion. You can say whatever. You can say my cousin. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm at striker. I actually would take Semenyo over Chris Wood. Chris Wood's more traditional, yes, but what I would like to see
with Cunha and Mbeumo behind, you take Semenyo.
That's the thing. You're removing the fact Cunha and Mbeumo are behind.
Cunha and Mbeumo and Ahmad.
One of the most basic ways of scoring goals would be for Gyökeres to hold up the ball and then lay off to one of them.
Hold on. My man. Hold on. You have Xerxes, Cunha, you have Xerxes, Cunha, Ahmad Diallo, and Mbeumo, and instead of signing a number 9, you want to sign another guy.
Are you guys complaining about Semenyo and goal scoring when you guys are now saying to me we should get Gyökeres, whose main attribute is goal scoring? You're not saying, but you've got Mbeumo and Cunha behind him. How's that going to work?
You have so many playmakers in this team, so many playmakers in Diallo, in Cunha, in Xerxes, in Mbeumo. Now we want you to get a Arteta or a Delap or a Gyökeres.
Yeah, but guess what? Delap rejected
the best position Semenyo would be at Man United is left wing back. No lie.
I would like to see
that would be the best position for him because he can cross.
Listen, I would like him there. If we got him for that position, I wouldn't complain. But he's never played there. But yet, that's more of an argument there than it is for him a striker. All right, cool.
Because we understand the Amorim system. What's so difficult to understand?
We can't get the lap. Mateta wants to stay for Europa League. Gyökeres, listen, if we somehow magically get Gyökeres, then fine. Then that's an argument. So out of those guys that you've been mentioning, Arsenal's going to go to Saudi. I'm giving an option that we could deal with for a season. I'm not saying make him striker for the rest to the end of time.
You're not going to spend that much money for a player for one season. He's going to be expensive.
One season, but one season at striker, and then you can put him in a different position where you want the next season.
Yeah, but then you're not going to spend 70 million or 60 million to put Semenyo left wing back.
60 million.
60. So wait,
put him as a trial as a striker.
When you can get Gyökeres for 58 million.
Well, he's not. I'm saying if Gyökeres don't come, bro.
Maybe this is not the days of Ferguson. There's no unlimited spend now. You have limits.
But listen. If Gyökeres don't come, I'm picking Semenyo, then no one.
No, I'm going down the Terry Fleurs route, which is sign Mateta.
But I've just told you he ain't coming.
Based on what Mateta's not coming. Based on what Mateta's not coming. Says who?
That he ain't coming.
Oh, it's already been reported. Oh, it was reported Zubimendi to Arsenal is done. Yesterday he changed his mind.
Yeah, but listen, come on now.
Well, he hasn't changed his mind.
Already said that.
No, here we go. Arsenal Defense League.
He hasn't changed his mind.
I expect you keep the same energy when it falls through, yeah?
Want to leave.
If it does, I will.
He does not want to leave.
Zubimendi rejects Arsenal.
Listen. It's already been reported that Arteta does not want to leave Palace right now because he wants to stay for the Europa League. That is fine. Cool. That's good on him. So I'm saying our main striker options are looking limited, if not none.
What?
If there's a player we're interested in who can play multiple positions, which that's what we've been targeting for most of this window, and since Ineos been here, why is Semenyo at striker for one season this awful thing when you've just said he can play in behind the 10 and he can also play left wing back? Semenyo at striker for one season is not going to harm Man United more than not getting a striker.
But who said that you're not going to get a striker?
Who said you're not
I've
getting a
just
striker?
you guys don't flipping listen.
Even if I go using your logic, which is even if I go using your logic, which is
guys,
one second, let me just make final statement. Let's say your logic is correct and you should get a stopgap striker for a year. It makes more financial sense to get a stopgap striker for a year, like Chris Wood, who will come in, score 14, 15 goals, and then the year after just be backup. That's it.
You guys don't listen. Oh
yeah, no. Listen, I get where KJ is coming from. There are definitely there are strikers ahead of Semenyo that he wants, but if they can't be got, I also get his point that if the club thinks, you know what, he could do a job at striker, but could also do a brilliant job the following season in left wing back, maybe you bring him into the club now. Like there is logic in that. If we can't get number, because I don't want to start getting, okay, let's get our 7th choice striker because the rest aren't available. I don't necessarily think that will help us in the long run. KJ, though, mate, pleasure talking, my friend. We'll see you later. Go calm down somewhere. Some super chats here. Says, agree with Mo, 85% of our problem has been scoring, goal scoring. We solve that. This notion that we need 5 windows is a myth. Expectations should be higher with the quality of players we are linked to. The thing is, just when people say 5 windows, I don't think anyone has said 5 summer transfer windows. I think when people say 5 windows, they include January. People, I still agree, that's what Man United need that amount to become a team that can potentially become a team that can consistently challenge for the EPL. Where you're right, Joshua, is one good window with the right profiles, the right athleticism, the right amount of goals, and this Man United team should be challenging for European positions. That should be happening because last year our biggest issues was goals from December until the end of the season. If you go back and watch our games, there was easily 5 of them that we lost or drew that we should have won. That would have changed the complete complexity of our season. So you are right, Josh, barring the first bit. The 5 windows conversation, we have to be very clear about what's been said. That's about the amount of time it will take to build a squad that has the potential capabilities of consistently challenging for league titles. Because even if next year we start the season brilliantly, let's just paint a very big hypothetical. We win our first 10 games, right? I'm making up a really extreme example. No sensible Man United fan will sit there and go, we're completely back. We're perfect now forever. You know that's going to drop off a little bit. You still know there's holes in this squad because 85% of it's got to go. You can't change 85% of a 23, 24, 25-man squad in one window. It's going to take 2 or 3 summers, Joshua, 100%. My problem with getting Semenyo for striker is United already have an issue with putting round pegs into square holes. We need a more recognized striker. Why get a recognized attacking midfielders and then get a stopgap striker? I think it all depends whether we can get one of our main targets, but I hear you. KJ, we cannot go and spend money on someone based off one season. We literally did that with Rasmus Højlund. We need guarantee. Chris Wood would be better option because he guarantees goals. This was from earlier, actually. It says, keep dreaming, Mo. Terry would never call out Ruben interim out. He is in love. He will take his club to 15th and he is thanking him with a smile. Well, you're lying, but you would drink Arteta's sweat. That's what your username says. Ask yourself this: where are your flops from 18 months ago? Nunes, Højlund, etc. For Qatar FC, Asensio, Villa, Kolo Muani, Juve, Soler, West Ham, unfair. I don't quite know what you're talking about. Like, I don't quite get it. I'd love to understand what you mean. I mean, I don't get it.
For Qatar FC. Oh, you're talking about the PSG flops.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. They moved them on.
Asensio, who else did he have? Who? I don't know what.
Kolo Muani.
Yeah.
Kolo Muani, yep, he flopped.
There
Kolo Muani definitely flopped. Goncalo Ramos flopped.
As we were talking about Semenyo, one of the big Arsenal stories today is that both him and I'm just looking for the tweet that came out a little bit earlier about this. There was a story that came out about Semenyo, and now I can't find it. KJ's phoned me with his ramblings.
Bullshit.
I'm only joking. But Semenyo is linked with a move to either Manchester United or Arsenal. I was going to find the quote here and the story. It says here that it's from Sam C. He's a fairly credible reporter. A lot of followers, got a lot of information, and he says here that Semenyo is a target of both Man United and Arsenal. The Cherries will demand over 50 million for the Ghanaian. What do you make it? We spoke about his potential at Manchester United. Do you see him more as an Arsenal player that can play off that left-hand side?
Who?
He's good, but he's not
Semenyo.
good enough. He's not good enough.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah, Semenyo.
Okay, so here's the benchmark for is Liverpool. And to be honest with you, now Arsenal are not trying to get better themselves. Okay, last season, when we spoke about Semenyo, Arsenal were trying to better themselves, right? To get better. Now the benchmark is Liverpool, who are signing Wirtz, Frimpong, Kerkez, they have Salah. You're going to sign a striker. In my opinion, Semenyo, if you're signing Sesko and Semenyo, and that is your window up top, that is like Arsenal have waited 5 processes, 5 years now. Arteta said we're building from the back to the front. You got one of the best center backs in the world in Saliba. You got one of the best center backs in Gabriel as well. You got Lewis Kelly. You got Timber. You have Thomas Partey. You're signing Zubamendi. You have Declan Rice, and you have Bukayo Saka. Now it's the last bit. You know what I mean? That's the last step, and you're going to get Semenyo, and we'll talk about Sesko later. I don't think that is like your last step. That is not what you need. Semenyo is a good player. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I think he's a good player. But is he the guy to take Arsenal? When you're linked to Rodrigo, you're linked to Rodrigo to take you over the line in the Premier League and maybe try to push for it. Is Semenyo going to win you the league? Is Semenyo going to win you the Champions League? Is that the guy that you're going to like get you over the line? Is that the level? Semenyo is good, mid-table player, can push for a top 4, but the benchmark is Salah. You're trying to get better than Haaland.
That's impossible to match, though. That's the problem.
You're trying as a collective to match Shirky, Haaland, Marmoush, Foden, like Semenyo, Doku, Rodri. That's what you're trying to reach. You're trying to get the better out of like Wirtz, McAllister, Salah. That is the benchmark. You're trying to beat these people. Is Semenyo going to be collectively, is him, Sesko and Saka? Is that a lineup that you think is going to be able to get the better out of Man City and Liverpool? I don't think so, to be honest. I like if you had a Rodrigo and your target is Semenyo as depth, that is great. Yeah, it's fantastic signing. But I don't think that Semenyo is the guy who's going to take them to the next level. I think they need better. Unless, to be honest with you, there is no other option.
I think there are Arsenal fans in the chat that expect us to just shake our asses for whoever Arsenal are linked with. Or whoever, any of, they just want to talk positive about their clubs all the time. Guess what? There are some signings where we will say some negative things. Arsenal are in a position now where they need to get over the line. And I'll be honest with you, as a Liverpool fan, as a rival of Arsenal for the league next season, if your 2 signings are Semenyo and Sesko, my feet are kicked up. I'm completely relaxed. I have nothing to worry about. Considering the fact that the other title race team are about to sign Shirky, they've signed Reindeer, they've got Haaland, Marmoush, Phil Foden, they've got Pep Guardiola. Considering our team just won the league, about to sign Kerkez, Wirtz,
they got Aïnouri as well. And
so I look at the Arsenal situation right now, and they need a lot better than that. The thing is with the Rodrigo links, it's really funny because Rodrigo had a period of time where he really wanted to leave Real Madrid, and then it became like a wages thing. And the thing that I just don't understand is, and I think Mo said this last week, why don't you just pay up, bro? Because here's the thing, I ask this question always. Let's say, okay, I'll tell you what I mean. Let's say, is both of you, I would assume you agree with this statement, Rodrigo is capable of winning Arsenal. I'm not even going to exaggerate, okay? I'm going to give a very conservative number. Let's say Rodrigo wins Arsenal 5 Premier League games this next season. That's worth 15 points. Is that a fair statement to make? Because of his quality, he's capable of winning them 5 games, like in a moment where he goes like, fuck this, I'm going to dribble past 3 players and put it top bins. Rodrigo's capable of that, right? Yeah. If you think giving him 300 grand a week to win the league, because you're going to get those 15 points, is going to get you to that statement, to that position, then that's why it makes sense to pay for a player like that. Now, I understand that Rodrigo might not be attainable, and that doesn't mean that you can sit on your ass, but you can at least go for like better options. I can give better options right now that I think Arsenal should sign that would actually make them a lot better. Like a Lookman from Atalanta. I mean, he's looking to leave. He's a goal-scoring machine. Go sign him. You can go get Barcola from PSG. He is also looking to leave. You can go sign these type of players who are going to score goals, who are going to put the ball in the back of the net, so you can lift the pressure off of Saka. You can lift the pressure off of those players, and you can give the players the help that they need. Does Semenyo take you over the line? No. Does a Lookman, does players like Barcola help you in that position? I think they help you a lot more than they do. So, listen, Semenyo and Sesko sound like phase 3 signings, and you're in phase 6, and that's the issue. That is the issue right there, because you got to the level now where you need that. And it's funny because I said the same thing last summer, and Arsenal didn't do what I said even last summer, and it's shown by the results this year. You need your Alisson and Van Dijk window. You need to now just go get. Arsenal are much better off going and signing like 2 difference maker than signing 6 players that are very good that can become unbelievable like 3 years from now. That's the thing.
No,
What are you laughing
there's a super chat that just came in, and just someone just keeps saying these things with Havertz, with Sterling. It was like, but not this one, the one before that. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Arsenal have Havertz on 3. Is he on 330k a week?
280k.
Okay.
That's a lie. It's 280k.
Okay. Is Arteta trying to get the honor of buying mediocre players and turning them into superstars to win the league?
This is the problem.
That's the thing that made Mo laugh.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, people said that it's not my take, to be honest. He said that he's obsessed with getting players that are like just on the cusp maybe of being very good and make them superstars instead of buying the ready-made players today. Someone who is ready now to be like a superstar. Like, I think Semenyo is good, but I don't know why they're going for. I don't think the Semenyo thing. I don't think they're gonna get Semenyo Terry. To be honest, I think they're gonna hit Leroy Sane at the end of this window. I think Sane is gonna be a free signing for them. They're gonna get Sane. They might get Sesko and Sane as forwards, and they might get someone else. We'll see. But Arsenal, in my opinion, now, I think that Zubamendi thing has shaken them. I'm not sure if Zubamendi is done or not, to be honest. Fabrizio said it's done. As they said, it's done for Liverpool, and he said yes to Liverpool. Now, I'm a little bit hesitant. If the quotes that he said are true, that might shake the whole window, because Thomas Partey might leave. And if Thomas Partey leaves, you're really short in midfield, right? So now you're short in offensive line and you're short in the midfield. Now, what do? You need to go and sign like another 2 midfielders, because now you rely that Thomas Partey will stay. Zubamendi is coming. Now you're short 2 midfielders. You need a striker. You need a left winger. And it depends who's going to be the backup for Saka. Is it Nwaneri or not? I don't think like Semenyo is a bad player, but it looks like the links now, they're very similar. Sane, Semenyo, left-footed wingers that are quick, that are like direct. Maybe, but I think they should target.
Is there an argument to make that Sane makes more sense than Semenyo?
Because it's free, yes.
And because he is a winner, and because he's like a phase 5 signing. I think Arsenal fans had a very negative reaction to signing Sane. I found it weird. I actually think Sane can help Arsenal, you know? Like, even I'm talking about help them in moments, you know, like win them games of football. Like, I think he's capable of doing that. He's worked with Arteta before. I don't get why Sane is bad, but Semenyo is good.
Sane is very good. Sane is a very good player. In the Premier League before, he's very good. Like, Sane is bad, but Semenyo is good. It's actually correct.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't get. Listen, Arsenal fans, you have to up your level.
He's 29.
I suppose
Leroy is 29.
The only thing I would say with Sane is, doesn't he have quite a bad injury record? Like,
I didn't check the injury. You can tell us now.
I'm just waiting for it to load. I mean, I know he had a few at City, but yeah, I mean, this season, 2 injuries that took him out for about 90 days. Last season, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 injuries last season. 2 seasons.
Do you
in
think
the-
he will be starter though at Arsenal? I don't think he'll be starter.
No, well, I think he's better than Martinelli. I think he's better than Martinelli.
I think so. He's bigger than Martin.
And that's the thing. I actually don't listen. I think Semenyo is better than average. By the way, I think Semenyo is a really good player. 25 years of age. He's not a kid. He's not a 1-season wonder either. He's had 2 good seasons, but he is in an average team.
Why not Kudos?
Why not? Why not Kudos? I mean,
Good question actually.
so
Why not Kudos?
Hang on, I'll answer your question. Now, I like Kudus. I like Kudus a lot. I've been told by a lot of people, though, he's not a winger. He's more of a 10. Like, although he plays out wide for West Ham, a lot of people all season, what I've heard in that chat is, but he's not really a winger. He's not really a winger. The people still stand by that. I don't really have a dog in that fight. I like him as an example. I really, really do. But I think Semenyo was better than him this season. I think he was better than him. I stand by that. I think he was better than him.
Can I present a different name to the table
Go on.
that I actually think makes Arsenal very good? Why don't Arsenal go sign Jared Bowen?
He plays on the right though.
He's a left-footed right winger.
He plays Saka's position.
I think you can move Saka to the left because he's technical enough to play there.
Shift Saka.
And then you have Bowen goal scoring.
No.
You got Bowen goal scoring.
There is no trying and stuff like this. Like
Okay, but anyway, regardless, I understand.
That was a howler, bro. That was a howler, wasn't it?
The problem is at the start. The problem is at the start of the window. Like even on the Football Terrace, we came here. Okay, here's the thing. There are Arsenal fans right now that are coping. There are Arsenal fans right now that are angry. There are Arsenal fans that are in the middle. Now, even on the Football Terrace, on straight facts, that's such a shit point, bro. That makes no sense. Or he played for City. Who gives a fuck? So you wouldn't take KDB? You wouldn't take Haaland? Or
the majority of the Man City players that won the league the first time played for Arsenal. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, bro. Come on, man. I take Bakary Sanya, Samir Nasri. Anyway, I just want to say one thing. The problem is we come on those straight facts, we come on the Football Terrace, and we read reports, and we read journalists. And at the start of the window, it was like Zubimendi, Rodrigo, Isak, Zubimendi, Rodrigo, Gyökeres. Now it's like, okay, they might get Semenyo, they're gonna get Sesko. So obviously there's like, we're dropping down in quality here, like step by step. Like I'm just saying, like even if the Semenyo thing doesn't happen, like what else goes on then?
I've got a name. I've got a name.
Can I ask you something? Is Semenyo better than Neto?
This season he was.
This season, yes.
From an outputs perspective, he was. I think the way that he dribbles past people well, like he had decent. I think he scored 11 league goals for Bournemouth. It's not bad. Like it's pretty damn good. How many goals did Neto get this year?
No, nothing. Like 4 or 5.
Yeah, Neto didn't have a good season.
And the one thing I would say about Semenyo is,
and he actually stayed fit all year, which was his problem at Wolves.
Yeah, no, he did. Yeah, exactly. Like he's very fit. I got a name for you. I got a name for the left-hand side.
It was Diaz.
No. He's Gambasa. Marcus Rashford.
Yeah, that would be a better signing than Semenyo.
No.
Why?
Arsenal are a team that is smother oppositions. There's a lot of pressure there. There's a lot of pressure to deliver. I am not sure that Marcus Rashford will be able to cope with the pressure if things go a little bit south, like within 5 weeks or 6 weeks. I don't think he has the mental capacity to actually get back to his best with the pressure on Arsenal this season. I think he needs free-flowing football, spaces to work. I think he needs a less pressure team, to be honest with you. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to go back to his best at Arsenal.
Should Arsenal save another Manchester City player and sign Jack Grealish?
What the fuck, bro?
His mic turned off, and I know he told me to fuck off just now.
The thing is, right? I mentioned Rashford because the player that we saw, I thought he was excellent at Villa, and his injury just came at the wrong time. If Emery keeps him on the pitch, I think they knock PSG out of the Champions League. And Inter Milan might be the champions right now, right? That decision by Unai Emery helped to cost you, man, a potential Champions League because they were on the ropes and Rashford was mean, you actually think about the fact you barely laid a glove. Rashford for that whole second half was cutting through that PSG team like a hot knife through melting butter. And I just think that Rashford, I've always rated him as a player. So I'm not trying to like offload a player because I want him out of Man United. I'm talking about I don't want to see him go to Arsenal. I've said this the whole time. But for the right money, it could be possible. I think in that team, in that system, with the bit between his teeth, like we saw at Villa, but with better players around him, because I do think Arsenal are the better team. I do think Arsenal have the better squad. I think he could kill it for him. I think he could go in there and he could easily score them 20, 25 goals in all comps. And the one thing we haven't seen Rashford in for many years, or hardly ever at United, is a well-drilled team. And look, people can hate Arsenal all they want. They are the one thing you can't call them is not a well-drilled team. They play good football. They're hard to beat. They barely lose games. I think he could do brilliantly there. And I'm only mentioning him because we're talking about alternatives to the 2 or 3 main targets. And Nico Williams looks like he might sign a new deal. Nico Williams gives me those same vibes that I understand that people have about Zubimendi. He's got this affinity with Bilbao, and he may stay there. He is. And he might stay.
Let me ask, finish the point because I need to ask you straight question.
The Rodrigo deal. Listen, Arsenal should be all over it, but
thank you.
They should be. However, there is a big however here that we can't blame Arsenal for. We can't blame Arsenal for Rodrigo wanting to be a Real Madrid player, the new manager saying you're integral to my plans, and the player being bought into his ideas. That's like saying, why don't Man United go out and buy Mo Salah? It's unattainable. You can't blame a club for not signing an unattainable player. If Rodrigo wants to stay at Madrid, let's be blunt. People say always defend Arsenal. I don't think this isn't defending them. It's being honest. They have no ability to pull Rodrigo away from Madrid if Rodrigo is 100% committed to Madrid. Why would anybody leave Madrid to play for Arsenal, to play for Man United as we are right now? There's only 1 or 2 teams they might go for, but it's so hard to turn those players' heads. He's at especially for a South American who, Madrid are the pinnacle of European football. He's there. So they have to look at alternatives. So Nico Williams has got his issues. Rodrigo, they're now saying, has gone from a player that was wanting to leave to wants to stay because of Alonso. Who's the other main target? Jamie Gittins. I mean, again, I think Semenyo is better than Jamie Gittins. I think Semenyo is better than a lot of the other options. I think he's better than. I think he would score and assist more than Martinelli. I think he's quicker and more powerful, and we know that's an important component. I don't necessarily think Semenyo is bad. Where I do agree with you, Husam, it's the collective. So, for instance, say they do say the worst case scenario for Arsenal happens, and Zubimendi says, "I just want to stay by the mountains. I changed my mind," and then you've got Husam and you've got Ty saying, "I hope there's a bug on your food." Right? Say that happens, and Sesko picks Liverpool, and Gyökeres picks Man United, and Mateta sticks at Palace, and they end up signing, I don't know, Chris Wood, right? And then they end up, or maybe it is Mateta they get, right? Who's good, but not the Gyökeres, Osimhen level. And then they get Semenyo. And then in the midfield, they go and buy Hackney instead of Zubimendi. Hackney's pretty good, by the way. But then I think the Semenyo deal looks bad. But if they do get Zubimendi, if they do sign a Gyökeres, and then you've got Semenyo being added to it.
Great. That's great.
It's the collective. So for me, that's what I'm being very clear about here is I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm stating as an isolated piece of business, I think Semenyo's good, but it's also about what else do they do? It's
all together.
It's more the collective for me than it is one individual.
I want to ask you something straight. People are saying you're an Arsenal fan, but I'm just going to say you're fair about the title race. So is Husam, by the way. Semenyo, Sesko, Saka, Odegaard, Zubimendi. I'm just going to give you best case scenario for Arsenal, right? Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Sesko, Semenyo. Would that win the league for Arsenal?
Say that again. Nope. Say that again for me, please, brother. Say that again. I didn't hear it. Sorry, I was reading something. Sorry, my apologies.
Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard, Sesko, Saka, Semenyo. While Liverpool get Wirtz, Liverpool are going to get a striker. Man City Man City get Shirky and Rangers. Would that win the league for Arsenal?
Nope.
They would. It could, but they
will
wouldn't.
challenge.
They could, but they wouldn't be my favorite. Do you know what you saying Sesko and Semenyo?
Sesko, Saka, Semenyo, Odegaard, Zubimendi.
Yeah. I'm going to answer. What that does is this: they're in the title race, but until we see Sesko play ball in the Premier League, I don't know how he's going to do. Where if you take out Sesko and say Osimhen, and by the way, I rate Benjamin Sesko. I think he's a very good striker who could become world class. However, I don't know where he's at right now in terms of Premier League, right? So for me, my opinion is less, and it's only a pre-season opinion and it can change. I'd have to wait to see Sesko. For instance, if they signed Osimhen today, if they sign Gyökeres today and you put him into that mix, I think Gyökeres is scoring 30 Premier League goals for Arsenal. Therefore, they definitely...
Thank you.
But equally, they're still not my favourites to win the league with that team. I'm still going Liverpool.
But they're much closer, right? But they're much closer.
Yes.
Which is my opinion. No one guarantees the league. No, Liverpool are not even guaranteed the league. Man City are not guaranteed the league. We haven't seen Rangers play in the Premier League. We haven't seen Shirky play in the Premier League. We have seen Semenyo tear it apart in La Liga, come to the Premier League. We have seen Doku being, oh my God, it's great. And we've seen that. But we're talking on paper here. What we're talking about on paper, Liverpool and City will be marginally favorites above Arsenal if that happens. Can Arteta get the best out of Sesko and Semenyo and get them to win the league? I'm not ruling it out. I'm not saying zero chance like other people, but I'm saying you sign Gyökeres, you get a left winger in Semenyo, put that in the mix with Odegaard, Zubimendi, and Rice. Liverpool a little bit worried. Man City are worried.
Rob here says RVP scored 30 plus goals for us and we finished fourth. Yeah, but I don't think this team is already second 3 years running. And again, I'm talking about this, Rob. I really do rate Gyökeres. I think this man is so prolific. And I believe in an Arsenal team. I believe in a City team. I believe in a Liverpool team. I just think this man would kill it in the Premier League still. I don't buy into this notion of, there's so much space in Portugal. The report came out just 2 weeks ago. The Premier League has more transition attacks in it than any of the top 8 leagues in Europe. So there's a lot of space in our fucking leagues as well. Because by the way, a lot of the teams attack these days. A lot of teams attack, and there's a lot of counter pressing and counter attack from that space. But equally, we're talking about an Arsenal team that's been this close to winning the league 2 of the last 3 years. Did fall off in February this year. There's no doubt. But one of the reasons you fell off is because you didn't have enough goal scorers killing games off earlier on in the season. But even before the injuries, the amount of games you man had from August through to December where you were the better team, but you drew. You were the better team, but you might have lost because you were just missing chances or there wasn't someone on the end of them. You didn't have that out-and-out number 9. So for me, I think you, up until your injuries and then those losses that you had that killed the season in February, you would have been within a couple of points of Liverpool, in my opinion, if you'd have had someone of Gyökeres' level. But what you can't ignore in that conversation is we're not just talking Gyökeres' potential goals. We're speaking about the brilliance and the line-breaking passes and the control that Zubimendi would bring to that midfield. It's a new contrast to what opponents are used to. I'm talking about a player like Semenyo. I think what he has over Martinelli, massive. Martinelli's got skill. Martinelli can beat a man. But you look at the size difference in the two. We're talking just pure physics here. Semenyo can burst past someone. He's much stronger. The amount of times Martinelli will get past someone, as they start catching up, they can outmuscle him. Where Semenyo is very, very hard to keep off the ball. You add all 3 of them to this team, that could be the difference between coming second again and winning the league. I think.
Can I give you my unpopular opinion on everything? I think if Arsenal signs Zubimendi, Sesko, and Semenyo, I think Arsenal are going to have a really bad year next year. I really believe that. I really think Arsenal are going to have a really bad year next year. Like, I think they are going to fall off because I don't think the players mentally are ready to go again for the 4th season running to finish, to just challenge. I think these players need uplifting. I think these players that will walk into training camp need players that will, as soon as Saliba, Gabriel, these guys walk in, they feel like, whoa, we've got new artillery, we've got new weapons. This is why I keep referencing Alisson Van Dijk. Let's say, once again, another hypothetical. Let's say, Gyökeres, Rodrigo, Zubimendi. Players walk in to the preseason going like, yo, we've got new weapons. Like, they feel very confident. They feel very like, But you look at the way now, how they're going to walk in with Semenyo and Sesko. I think this if they sign Semenyo and Sesko and Zubimendi, I think this reminds me of Liverpool after we challenged for the title in 08-09. And then obviously Arsenal aren't selling anyone, but we had a really horrible start to the season after. I can see that happening again. I can really see that happening again, but for Arsenal this time. You know, and there is a lot of similarities between Rafael Benitez and Arteta. Obviously not terms of trophy wise, but Benitez and Arteta both are more defensive managers. They would rather draw than win, you know, type thing. So I've seen this before, and I can envision it happening again, because I don't think this squad is uplifted. I think Terry will probably understand what I mean the most out of everyone. Then, you know, the one thing United were really good at is they would go get like the best player in the league from a different club, or go get like someone that as soon as the players walked in, they felt that like sense of urgency, that motivation.
No, listen, I get it. It's just that it's that kind of. I'll give you no, I'm not going to give this example because the viewers will get annoyed by it. No, I will give it. Monday morning, this is no disrespect to you two, but we had Jamie and we had Alison on the show, and the viewers went, "Oh, it's nice to hear some brand new opinions." It's no disrespect to you two. It's not they don't like you two. It was some brand new opinions on this platform. The same as when you go to work. When you're struggling or you've been doing well, if you walk in and it's like, well, we've got this new sales director that's coming in who's got some amazing contacts in the industry. All the salespeople become a little bit, oh, wow, we might get some new leads. We might get some new opportunities. It reinvigorates you. Footballers have spoken about this for many, many years. They're no different to any other kind of customer or worker within organizations that they're in. Something new it can give you a new lease of life. That change can be as good as a rest. It might make you think, oh, great. Like we were talking about Bruno last night. Will Bruno be if we keep signing players at the level we have, there's who can pick up the mantle. Maybe Bruno will make less mistakes because he feels like he doesn't always have to do it all himself. He might feel reinvigorated by that. So I completely agree with you. In life, whether, again, you're a consumer or whether you're in the business or in the team or whatever it may be, you get that help. You get something new that's inspiring. It can send you on your way. We do have some breaking news I've got to go to, though, boys. This is very serious about Manchester United and some doping issues at the club. Says here that Rasmus Højlund was required to undergo a doping test after hitting a shot on target during Denmark's training session. I thought that was funny, and I can laugh at my own club.
My coffee, you fraud.
Big up, Terry. What made you fall in love with Arsenal?
Great question.
It's because they play in the same color as my team, red. You know, it's the association, but it's not about that. I mean, I just sat here and said what I said. I can't change my mind on Sesko. I like him and rate him. I understand that the fear that some Arsenal fans have over him coming in because there is this unknown. If he was the same age, but last season scored 32 goals, 34 goals, 35 goals in the league, there'd be a very different conversation happening. The one thing about potential, especially potential goal scorers, is until they actually start scoring at that level, there's always a fear. There's always a concern. And that I understand. Equally, though, that doesn't mean I'm just going to go, yep, he's a crap player because people have a fear that he may not reach his potential. Because Arsenal are on the precipice, and I get why their fans, they want to get over the line. You know, so I get it. That isn't defending the decision. It's understanding it. But equally, I don't think he's a bad football player. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a guarantee he flops, because that also isn't true. I don't think he's a bad player. If they were linked today with signing Weghorst, I'd be telling you this is horrendous. They're in major trouble. If they were doing what Inter Milan were doing and they were after Rasmus, I would be telling you that is really bad. I'm not.
Yeah, but in reverse, I'm keeping the same energy the other way, because when Sesko was linked to Liverpool, I said he's Darwin Núñez 2.0. I said I don't want him. So now I'm keeping the same energy. I don't trade the player, you do. Let's see. Time will tell.
Wayne here said this is kind of like the 0% chance of Arsenal beating Madrid nonsense. On that, I want to ask you a question off the back of the super chat. When you say drop off for Arsenal, what position in the league are you kind of putting them in with that comment?
If Chelsea sign Ekitike, Manyan, and an experienced centre back, Chelsea can overtake Arsenal next year. I think Arsenal could be fourth. Okay. I am now. Listen, every year, whoever is the champion is the benchmark. End of. Like, the benchmark of who you want to become is the champion. This is in every sport. So when Man United won the league, people wanted to be Man United. When Chelsea won the league, people wanted to be Chelsea. We won the league now. So, like, what we're doing is we're signing Wirtz, Frimpong, and Kerkez, and we're looking at a striker. Okay? Now I look at the other challengers. Who is going to challenge me next season? I'm more worried about Man City than Arsenal as things stand with the players that they're linked with. And if Chelsea keep going in the correct direction, I think Chelsea could finish ahead of Arsenal as well. So I think Arsenal could have a really bad season if they sign the players that they're linked with. This if is very important. So KJ, you bum, if you want to clip it up, include the if, please. So yeah, if they sign Sesko and Semenyo and blah blah blah.
Remove
You
the
get
if. Actually, great.
So just
I think that would be a great. I think that would be a greater clip without the if.
No, we need the if.
The if is there. Arsenal still have the best defense in the league. I think people don't understand anyone that can score or create goals improves us a whole lot.
I don't think you can understand. A player that scores 14 goals does not get you over the line. Benjamin Sesko scored 13 and 33 in the Bundesliga.
Can I tell you something? I think Havertz can do this. Might be able to do the same job that Sesko does.
Yeah, exactly. Havertz can do the 13, 14 goals. What's the point then?
Havertz literally, if he stays fit,
Your benchmark can't be he's better than Mikel Merino.
Like he can be. You're telling me that Havertz, with the creativity, if Saka stays fit, and if they get Semenyo, Havertz cannot get you 15, 20 goals next season? He can.
Not 20, but he can get 15.
Yeah, like between 15 and 20 goals. You know what I mean? Like he can. You need a striker that will bank 25 plus goals. That'll give you 30 goals next season. That's what you need.
Can I ask you boys a question? Do you think there's a possibility that the scouting has been so good on Sesko that he can score more than the 14 goals, that he can get 20 plus league goals?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay.
To be honest with you, I'm not. Listen, none of us here sit and watch RB Leipzig play every game, right? Like we watch some games, Champions League, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I guarantee you the Arsenal fans that are saying Sesko's better than Eucharist haven't watched. They watch compilations, right? None of us sit here. We watch Premier League football. I watch Interplay. We might watch El Clásico or Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona, maybe RB Leipzig versus Bayern. But from the people that watch in Germany, they're saying that Sesko, Ashraf, watches a lot of Bundesliga. He's saying Sesko is not that what you guys think. He's not the guy in the compilations. He doesn't think it's the guy that it's in the compilation. He thinks the compilations are just getting the best bits out of him, right?
I hear that. Captain here says Rodrigo, Isak, Saka. I mean, that would be great, but it's not.
Yeah, if you sign that, then we can talk.
Then you are the favorites to win the league.
Igal said Arsenal beat us. That's Real Madrid. Now they have more pull.
No one has more pull than Real Madrid.
Igal didn't say that. Igal, I'm going to back Igal. I'm going to say bullshit on that. I think Julian Alvarez would be great for Arsenal. He can play in all the positions. Yeah, that would be a very good signing.
And Lamine Yamal would be great for Arsenal as well, by the way. Lamine Yamal would be great.
With the transfer season, if you're listening to Rivals, the metric for successful window is measured on the weight of the player's name. What Arsenal fans need to concentrate on is how the linked players suit our system.
No one said that. No one said that. You're so... Like, this is the thing. This is why I get so frustrated sometimes doing these shows, because the fans of every single club just want consistent fucking praise. If you signed Cunha or Mbeumo as Arsenal, who are not names, I'll be more worried than you signing Sesko and fucking Semenyo. Okay? It's not about the names, man. No one's bringing up names. We're talking about the caliber of player. Sesko doesn't have the fundamentals of football. First touch, passing accuracy, crossing. Go look at the numbers, man. The eye test has improved by the stats. Go look at it. Do a deeper dive into Sesko. You'll find out.
A player that scores 14 goals becomes our top goal scorer this season. I'm not saying a single player will help us win, but a few that get us 10 plus goals does.
And then next season, when you don't win the league, they didn't back him. They got him Sesko.
Can I tell you guys something that someone told me on one of my comments? And I actually find that comment very interesting. I know you have to move on. Just quickly on this. And I want to hear Arsenal fans in the chat, right? Someone commented on one of my videos when I was talking about Sesko and Eucharist, and he said, Arsenal are not Arteta. There is life beyond Arteta. Sesko's for the future. Why should we sign Eucharist if Sesko is born to be one of the best strikers in the world within 3-4 years?
Okay, I'll answer that question object.
Do you think Arsenal are looking into Eucharist might score 20 goals, but if we have a chance to sign one of the best upcoming strikers in the world, why not?
Okay, I'll answer that question objectively now. Gyökeres is the present and the future. That's the difference. You don't know why? Because Gyökeres is already one of the top strikers in the world, and he's only 27. This is not FIFA. This is not Football Manager. Salah is the best player in the league. He's fucking 33. The best player in the league for the last 3-4 years as well, alongside Kevin De Bruyne. And guess what? They're both above 30. So Gyökeres is the present and the future, because Gyökeres can play for the next 5-6 years easy. That's it. Question answered.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
This here says Moreno got 7 league goals, but Sesko won't get more than 13. He could do. I think he will. I think he'll get more than 13 league goals if he's fit all season. Papa Beard here says, yeah, I disappeared when Chelsea were going, when Chelsea were doing good, though. Dad passed away end of Feb, so more stuff to do. And the one time I decided to watch Inter Habibi. Sorry to hear that, bro. Obviously,
sorry to hear that, my man.
Yeah,
sorry for your loss. May he rest in peace.
Yeah, condolences to your family, my brother. Thank you. And everyone here watches all of Gyökeres' games, Mo.
No, we don't.
No, not everyone watches Gyökeres' games, but you know, there is a difference in terms of quality.
Oh, we've definitely watched more of Gyökeres than actually Sesko.
I have. Wayne says, think we can stop the Rodrigo talk? He's staying at Real Madrid, so it's not going from Rodrigo to Semenyo. But Nico Williams is better. But Nico Williams is better than Semenyo? Question mark.
I do think Nico Williams is better than Semenyo.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think Nico Williams is better than Semenyo. He's cheaper though. I know the wage is different.
Terry, tell Don Todd the Nutter is going for the Prem title this season. Big up, Nick.
No.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate
Depends
that.
who you sign.
Just because Salah did it doesn't mean he's the new standard. He's an anomaly.
Yes.
Yeah, I know that. I agree with that as well. That's why I told Mo that's a high standard to achieve.
The numbers say Sesko is a better finisher than Osimhen, outperforms XG in one of the worst chance creating teams in the league. Admit you know nothing, Husam.
Keep this on the screen. Don't remove it. So, Wayne, my statement is Sesko does not have the fundamentals of football. Let's look at 2 strikers from the Bundesliga, which I don't watch religiously, but it's on BN Sports. Mo will tell you. So every now and then when we're doing a show and it's in the background, I'll watch it. Ekitike, Sesko, both of them not good goal scorers. The difference is Ekitike is fundamentally sound and Sesko is not. When I'm talking about fundamentally sound, I'm talking about a player that is not purely just pace and power, a player that's not just purely athleticism, a player that has a good first touch, a player that has good passing accuracy, a player that is good on the football. I'm going to share screen here. I know we don't usually do this very often. That's my eye test for both players. Okay, please just put up the screen quickly, please.
You're not demonetizing the stream, are you?
No, I'm not. It's FBRF. Okay, so these are the Hugo Ekitike underlying metrics. These are the goal scoring stats, and these are all the passing stats, right? Now, Husam that knows nothing, using his eye test, just told you something. Let's now go flip it to Benjamin Sesko here, because some of you guys will think I'm lying. Here's Benjamin Sesko's scouting reports. Goal scoring. Now you go down here to the passing. What did I say about his passing? I don't think it's good enough. He's in the 33rd percentile for all forward line players. Progressive passes, etc., etc., etc. If your logic is he plays behind the strikers and he's one of the 10s, then that makes it even worse that he's in the 33rd percentile for strikers. Now, if you want to say he has better numbers than Osimhen and outperforms XG and has a higher conversion rate, you want to know who that applied to? Darwin Núñez at Benfica, which is why I call him Darwin Núñez 2.0. I can put up Squawka comparisons right now as well and show you the same exact numbers. He has half the layoffs of Ekitike. He has like 1/3 the crossing accuracy, has 1/3, like almost 15% less passing accuracy than Ekitike. All the passing metrics are dreadful, which shows me even the eye test match it. He doesn't have the fundamentals of football. It's all good though, Wayne. Just like the rest of the Arsenal fans, you'll go back to making bum-ass excuses in April next season, in March next season. That's if you show face on the stream, which you will not, because I know already.
Pav here says, I think us being linked with Sesko is a diversion. Remember, Berta is doing our signings, and he is a veteran in this game. I feel we will sign Gyökeres.
I hope so.
I hope you don't. Husam, that's too much. We all saw Moreno as 9, is what D says.
Yeah.
This here is from Sagnik, who says, Mo, your thoughts on Modric and KDB coming to Serie A?
Retirement home. That's what I want to say.
Oh, wow.
This here says if Wirtz gets injured today, the deal could be off. That could be true, but a lot of reports that it's really close to happening. The fee is really close. Husam, you must be very excited about that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Florian Wirtz's underlying metrics are amazing. The eye test is amazing. Everything that he's doing is amazing. He has better numbers than Musiala. So I have no reason to be worried about this transfer. I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's an incredible player. I think he helps take us to the next level creatively. Something we struggled with in the PSG game, in the Newcastle game, in the big moments where we didn't perform this season. We needed someone to make a difference other than Salah. And I do believe that Florian Wirtz will be that difference maker. I think with Kerkez and Frimpong and Florian Wirtz, we're essentially going all out attack. We're just going to attack the shit out of teams. We're going to pin them down. We're going to try to destroy them. And that's what I feel like we're doing. So I do believe that looking at Florian Wirtz, I think it would be an incredible signing for Liverpool. I think it would be a statement signing. About time we spent some damn money, so I feel very good about it. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see Wirtz in a Liverpool shirt. I'm glad he rejected Manchester City, rejected Real Madrid, rejected Bayern Munich, as reported yesterday by Bild. And he just wanted to join Liverpool purely for football reasons because he was going to get more wages at Bayern than at Liverpool. So, I feel very excited for the signing. I'm glad he's coming to us. I think he'll find a great home at Anfield. I think he'll be allowed to express himself a lot more at Liverpool than he will do at Manchester City. So I think he's going to cook next year. So, this is a player that is a difference maker for us. Very versatile. Can play on the wings, can play false 9, can play in the 10. Massive upgrade on Szoboszlai and helps take us to the next level, which is something that we want to do because unfortunately for myself, I have not seen back-to-back league titles, and that's something that we are trying to do this season. And I'm glad that we're doing it in the transfer window as well. So I look forward to watching him play for Liverpool Football Club. I look forward to it, and he's going to be a Liverpool player. I have no doubt about it whatsoever. There is 0% doubt for me.
It is not going to be like a bug on his food. It's not.
No. He's coming to Liverpool. It's already, because the difference is this time we didn't go approach Leverkusen before we approach the player. We approached the player first. That's why
I actually think that the story yesterday, his Instagram story, says that he's joining Liverpool.
Yeah, his Instagram story alone, you already
he's
know.
Literally denying the report that he has put the 10. So he's telling people, I am joining Liverpool and I'm not going to be the number 10. He's literally telling the world I'm not joining
Liverpool. If you're unaware, Florian Pettenberg put out a story saying that Wirtz wants to take the number 10, but it's worn by McAllister now. Wirtz put up an Instagram story basically saying, don't listen to the lies unless I don't want the number 10. I respect players. So
he's literally joining Liverpool, but he's not going to wear 10. He's telling them this.
He confirmed his own transfer, essentially. So
basically, that's what he said.
Yeah. I think it'll go through. 150 million euros, they're saying the fee will be. No concerns about him handling the pressure of that fee?
No, the fee is reported today from the news I read today as £114 million without the bonuses. Actually, 1 million less than Caicedo in terms of British transfer record fee. So, listen, if Chelsea can pay 150 million for a tackler, we can pay 150 million for a player that can win us games by scoring goals and getting assists. So, I don't think he has a problem. You can tell he has the personality, the persona. I mean, he's helped take Leverkusen to their first Bundesliga in their life ever. So that is a player that definitely has what it takes, and I look forward to it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's changing the system completely. It's changing the way they play completely. Actually, Florian Wirtz, this is not going to be Klopp's team anymore. This is going to be Arne Slot's team next season. It's completely different, to be honest, than what we have watched. I'm fearful for the league, to be honest. There is Pep Guardiola, but I'm fearful that Liverpool will dominate the league for the next 2-3 years if they get a striker as well.
Arsenal will dominate. They signed Sesko. He has he's performed his XG better than Arsenal.
We're trying to be serious here. You have a show after. I'm fearful for that. But we might see City Pool again, that kissy rivalry that happened over the last years, and we might see that. But listen, Salah has 2 years. Van Dijk, I think this next 2 years, Liverpool might try to win the title, to be honest with you, and just get a 3. They might get a 3-peat. It depends on who the striker they're going to get. If Arsenal go for Sesko and Liverpool go for Eucharist, for example, I think that'll be a laughable situation at this current moment. The Wirtz is great, but listen, Man City are signing Shirky for quarter the price. Is Wirtz worth it? I think we're only gonna see. I'm gonna tell you the difference, Terry, because you said the pressure. You know the price tag will be brought up if Liverpool don't win the title. If Liverpool don't win the title, everyone is gonna talk about the price tag they paid for Wirtz. If Liverpool don't start well, people will talk about the price tag. Same as Caicedo, as Enzo Fernandez, as Declan Rice.
Yeah, that's the thing with Caicedo. Last year, people brought up the price. This year,
nobody's talking about the.
No one mentioned 150 million.
No one mentioned. So if Liverpool are leading the race, like if Liverpool are like winning games, no one remembers how much you pay when you win. Nobody remembers.
No, I agree.
And I think that is that the comparison between him and Shirky, it will be fiery if Man City are leading the race for the league. If Man City are top of the league, oh, they paid quarter of the price for Shirky. And look at Man City, they are top of the league. And you spend wrong and all of this.
For the most, I mean, listen, here's the thing. I'm being objective here. Arsenal paid 105 million for an athletic DM, and Chelsea paid 150 million for a tackler. We're paying 114 million for a player that can make the difference.
For arguably the best player in the Bundesliga. One of the best
arguably the best player in the Bundesliga. And he won like the Bundesliga player of the season as well.
So yeah, 115 is fair. To be honest with you, I'm just going to tell you, because Shirky is there, it looks unfair. But on paper, if you look at the Premier League market, if you go and buy Musiala, he's not going to be less than 150, right? Like he's not.
Yeah.
So 114 or 120 million pounds for basically the second best playmaker in the Bundesliga and the starter for Germany.
Actually, Wirtz has better playmaking stats than Musiala.
So it's not a lot.
A better creator, Musiala is a better dribbler.
Like, it's not a lot. Like if Cole Palmer is worth 100 million and Cole Palmer has not won player of the season in the Premier League, like Florian Wirtz is looked at like maybe the KDB, the future at Liverpool to be look like KDB. So 114.
Expect us to go really strong in the UCL next year as well, by the way.
Like, so,
I think the way that we got knocked out of the Champions League this season hurt the players. I think they'll come back for a vengeance for the Champions League.
How are people saying that? I'm trying to make it as negative. About what did I say anything negative about Liverpool, bro?
No, do you know what it is? There is a percentage of Liverpool supporters that they almost don't want the praise because it comes with expectation. They like to be the underdogs, and this will be a season where they're not going to go in as underdogs. They can't go in as you can't spend 115 million. Well, obviously the 135 million euros, 150 million euros. That's like basically about 120 million on the player. Plus sign a brilliant fullback in both position, potentially still go out and sign a very good number 9 as well, a top level number 9. You can't do that as champions and then not be the favourites. And I just think, and it's not a dig at all Liverpool fans, because
I'll tell you, we're favourites.
Yeah, of course you are. Yeah, and exactly.
You're signing the best player in the Bundesliga. You're signing two fullbacks.
Well, you're not listening to that. There is a small percentage, but noisy percentage of Liverpool fans that always like an underdog story. So they almost
it's his fault. It is his fault. This has
been going. It's been going on for decades before this man even knew what Liverpool was.
No. Brother, I'm on 50,000 subscribers, not 50 million. Why you act like I control the narrative?
I made this leopard on the tree thing. Even Craig said that thing, bro. Like even Craig.
I've got a few super chats here. First one says Liverpool gonna do jack shit next season is what V33 says here.
Whatever makes you sleep well at night.
Liverpool, when Michael Edwards got Salah and Mane, and those two didn't have the same hype against them as they do now. So your point, Husam, is shaky at best.
Salah was in the Serie A team of the season. 19 goals, 11 assists at Roma. Sadio Mane scored 15 goals at Southampton. That's why I brought up Mbeumo and Cunha. I'll tell you right now, and I speak for Mo as well. If Arsenal signed Mbeumo and Cunha, we would be saying positive stuff about your club. So it's not names. No one brought up names. No one said go sign Isak, Vinicius, Mbappe. That's not what we're saying. We're saying players who are actually good enough, not 13 and 33 in the fucking Bundesliga, bro.
This year says that Liverpool were going to pay 115 million for that tackler too. That's true.
Yeah, that is true.
That's true.
I never denied that.
Some wanted, I said.
Yeah, he's a fantastic tackler.
I have heard Arsenal will fall off next season almost every season now. The only time we regressed, we still finished second. Sesko will surprise you, is what Abraham said.
No one cares about surprises. We got ready-made, habibi.
If Man United sign Cunha, Mbeumo, and Gyökeres, where would you rank them in the league? I think it means there's like the striking force.
3-4, 3 attackers, right?
Is that Man United 3 man attackers? Yeah, you're saying like where would that rank in the league?
I think you would finish 4th or 5th.
No, it's in like what I think I think what he means is like best attackers to like like best attacking group, as in the best
without the midfield. Without the midfield.
Yeah, just
So
ranking,
no midfield, no playmakers.
They're just ranking that front line versus other front lines in the Prem.
Okay, this is
I
third
think
best
that's what it
front line.
means.
Third best front line in the league.
How?
Liverpool, City, United. This is better
Liverpool,
than
Salah,
Arsenal.
Salah by himself.
No,
Better
but
than all three together?
no, we're gonna get the striker as well. You can't give
No,
United.
no. My man here, Hussein, didn't say if you get a striker. He's saying that if Man United get this nowadays.
Yeah, Habibi, he
Jota,
put Jokers, which is a hypothetical.
but he's assuming that. It depends whose striker you're gonna get.
Yeah,
so
and
we
I'm
don't know.
assuming we're getting a striker.
Okay. I think this front three, Terry, on paper, is probably top. Top two. Like Liverpool at the current moment with Salah by himself without a striker yet. I think this on paper better than Liverpool's.
Fraud.
You have Nunes and Jota.
Salah alone would
You
make
know-
a bigger difference than
No,
these
but
three.
no. You on your own words said that Salah will not be 50 GA like last season.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Of
You
course.
know Nunes and Jota missed. Sam, you talk about this a lot.
Habibi, Nunes
Nunes
is
and
leaving.
Jota.
We're getting a striker.
Yeah, okay. Once you get the striker, we'll talk about it. Depends. What if you get Chris Wood as a striker?
More allow it.
Okay. What if you get Lautaro?
Then it's definitely better than this one.
Okay.
Lautaro will cook at Liverpool.
That's when I say, Hussein, that the pressure should be on Man United. If they get Mbeumo, Cunha, and Gyökeres, this should be pressure. Is this better than Havertz,
Yes, of course. it's
Saka,
better
and
than-
Martinelli? Okay. Semenyo, Havertz, Saka. Is this better? Terry Flowers.
Yes.
Yeah,
Terry
Terry
Flowers.
on paper, yes, of course it is.
Hey, let's fucking go.
On paper, again, I'm only going on paper, and if this is Man United's front three next year, on paper, you are looking at potentially 50 goals, maybe more, from a collective. Cunha scores goals, and Mbeumo scores goals, Gyökeres scores goals. On paper, yeah, and I can't judge it in reality. I haven't seen them play.
Yes, we haven't seen them.
Yeah, if we're just going to look at it at the beginning of the season, if that's Man United's front line, that could be phenomenal. So yeah, Hussein, I think it'll be a phenomenal front line. I still agree with Mo. Let's wait and see what Liverpool do. Let's wait and see what Arsenal do. Let's wait and see what City do, because they're all going to sign players. But that would be a phenomenal. It would be in the top 5. That's a good enough front line to
Compete
push
for
us
Champions League spots.
to push us for a top 5 position. That is a good enough front line. That's the kind of front line that could score you enough goals to paper over other cracks for a season. They could score you out of trouble, theoretically. Again, on paper. I need to stress that because some people get really weird. Lads, if United get Gyökeres along with Gyökeres and Mbeumo, rate those front three versus other club signings.
We
so
literally
far.
just did, my
We've
friend.
kind of just done that already. But
Yeah.
listen, in terms of signings, I still probably put Liverpool's above it because of what it does to their title-winning team. City's looks amazing, but it's individual pieces of business. It's on par with what everybody else is doing based on what we need. And you can actually argue, all on paper, because we never know how it's going to work. Our signings are probably making us the most improved, towards making us the most improved team, because the jump these guys could give United will be a bigger jump than we see from the other teams. But very good business, very, very good business. Wallahi, you stroke my back and I stroke yours. Put the fries in the bag, Habibi. You get me.
When I was giving the analogy, instead of saying scratch my back, you scratch yours, I said stroke as scratch because I didn't know. I just made a mistake.
I know. It's fine. Watch how Man United will take a dump that old.
Even Terry will tell you right now, Liverpool shouldn't be worried about Man United. Fucking hell, relax.
Man United.
Well, if that's our front three and they're as good as you both say, then on match days you should be worried because it's one of the best in the league. But
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Nobody said otherwise.
Man United, listen, if we signed Gyökeres, if we went and got Belieber, if we went and got Ignacio, If we went and got, I mean, if we,
I'd be worried if you had Hoyland and Garnacho, because Liverpool United is the biggest rivalry.
yeah. I hear you. I'm
Europe,
just pointing out, right? If Man United land all their number one targets the remainder of this window and sign 5 more top players, Emi Martinez, whoever it may be, Estepinian, these are players we're linked to, Baliba, we're still not challenging for the league title next year, people. Like, let's be real. Wow, Liverpool are bloody scary, is what D says here.
Yeah, we are 100%.
Man United are scary.
But listen, if we pull off those players and we look good in pre-season, we will put fear into rivals, not in terms of overtaking all of them, but there'll be that fear. By the way, you saw that yesterday with the reaction to the news. I went and done some clips. I'm getting a video ready to release later in the summer of people the night I did it on the night we lost the final to Spurs. They've finished forever. They'll never be back. They won't sign nobody. You should see those people getting angry right now. What they're getting angry about, their fear is that Man United are not going to stay 15th. So you are right to a certain degree. If we sign those players, we will put fear in people. A different type of fear, though. How comes nobody talks about the fact that Wirtz, Frimpong, and Kirkes are being done before the 30th of June? Be okay with PSR, so getting cash for the new striker.
Yeah, we are going to sign a striker as well. I look forward to it, brother.
Absolutely.
It's going to be one hell of a week.
But the reason no one's talking about it is because Liverpool are essentially spending last season's money because they spent nothing in the summer. So everybody knows Liverpool have got no FFP problem. That's why it's not being discussed, my friend. Husam saying move Saka to left wing, surely a sackable take.
Nah, because he started left wing back.
Good point. I think Saka, I literally want to see a team do that soon. Start using left-footed wingers on the left and right and seeing what just going for the cutback game, bruv. Just play that cutback game. I just don't think defenders are ready for it. Listen, this coming season is going to bring a lot of surprises, especially the top 3. I'm excited. I hope you gents are too. I'm already excited for next season already because I can't not be though after last year's. I don't think Man United can be worse. I honestly don't think it will be worse either. So I am looking forward to maybe winning more than one game on the bounce, boys. What do you reckon? Could happen. This here says, I was trying to annoy you, Husam. It's all love, brother.
No problem. Big up to you, bro. Big up to you.
Final super chat here. It says, do you guys think the Club World Cup is a dumb tournament?
Yes.
We've got to head up. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. It is a stupid tournament for one reason, Joshua, because it's allowed the teams that won the Champions League 4 years ago to be there. And also, these players are humans and they need time on holiday, and then there is preseason. The Premier League starts in August. This thing finishes mid-July. So when is preseason, basically? And also you're traveling to America. So
yeah,
it's stupid.
I think it might be a tournament we enjoy. I'm going to wait. I'm going to stay reserved. I'm covering it. I'm doing shows on it. So I'm not going to sit here and slag it off. But my slight concern, just as not as a rival, but as a football man, for Chelsea, for City next season is, when is your preseason? And if not having having no end of season, because your players have all now gone into internationals, straight into this tournament, and then they've got to have a pre-season with no rest. Let's see. Because if next season Chelsea and City get to January and just fall off physically because of the way it's been done, then it's a stupid tournament. Even though you've earned loads of money, it literally means, and let's see what the other teams do as well. Let's see what the other European sides look like next year, come the back end of the season. Let's see how many teams again, if they all get through it, fine. City win the league, PSG win the league. I don't even know all the other teams that are in it, but they all win their leagues. They all get to the latter stage of the Champions League. There's no problems, and fair enough. But it would just concern me slightly as a fan that my team are not going to get a preseason and they're not going to get a rest. They're not going to get any rest at all. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting. I mean, even if they're rested for the beginning of the season, City theoretically could then drop enough points in the first 4 or 5 games to then not be able to win the league. So,
yeah, listen, to be honest with you, with the amount of injuries we have seen last season, with the hamstring especially, and muscle exhaustion, bro, like, just the players need a break.
No, I agree with that. Sorry, Kate, I put that back up. I didn't realize you put it up, my friend. Sorry. FIFA should have made the tournament 1st of July to the 1st of August so that it acts as a pre-season whilst giving them a break.
But as a KG, there's a response says, there's so much money involved that it cannot be treated as a pre-season. Like, you will not going to be able to play your second team because there's the money is too much.
But also, this is why they're not doing it, because clubs won't agree to it, because when the TV companies now are all making loads of money out of real preseason games. Preseason's become a thing in itself. Everyone loves it now. So they don't want to overlap it because the TV broadcasters and the sponsors are like, hang on, whoa. We can't have this massive tournament on at the same time that Liverpool and Arsenal and United, for instance, plus all the other big European teams are having preseason tours. I get your point, KJ, but they're not going. Essentially now, we're just going to end up at a point soon where football is 12 months of the year, which is great for us as consumers, but actually it could damage your participation in the most important tournaments. But we'll see. What do you guys think of Ramos per 90 stats are good? Decent. That's it. Decent striker. That's it.
He's all right, though. He's not fantastic.
Would be great in Italy. Would be great in Italy.
Yeah.
Listen, I want to thank everyone who's tuned into the show today. Amazing talking points. Mo, Sam's already gone. Thank you, boys, for tuning in. To all of our super chatters, thank you. Let's get the likes up to 1,000, though, people. Let's get this likes before you leave. Let's get up to that level. This is going to redirect you to Husam's channel, so go and support my brother over there. I am live at 8 p.m. as well tonight, again on the United Stand. If you want to come across and see me there, please feel free to join me. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon. Peace.